This is mine. I paid for it. I worked for it. And he tries to keep it. And the next thing you know, the predator pulls out a gun and shoots. Fortunately, the victim only got hit, in the finger or something like that, which is bad enough. So here we have an escalation in the violence on our rapid transit system. Now you don't have to just walk through the wrong station at the wrong time to get shot by one of these predators. Now you can just be minding your own damn business with a briefcase or a shopping bag or a radio or something sitting on the train, and here they come. Here they come. Wanting your property, you don't hand it over, they'll shoot you. And then Maynard Jackson, and all his pomposity and wisdom, suggest that if we could just make it affordable, commuters would ride buses and trains if we would make it, if we'd make it free. What Maynard Jackson doesn't understand is this. If you make MARTA free, if it didn't cost to ride MARTA, you would get an increase in ridership from the very element that people try to avoid by driving their cars. So here's Maynard Jackson's theory. You have people that drive to work every day in this city who would be glad to ride MARTA, who would be glad to walk through if they thought they could do so safely. Not be harassed, not be shot, not be robbed. They'd pay if you made it safe, or if you gave it the appearance of safety. It may, in fact, be safer than is generally reckoned, but if you gave it the appearance of being safe, these people would ride MARTA and leave their cars at home. But Maynard Jackson, who does not, along with other leaders of his ilk, does not want to address the crime and violence and fear problem, comes up with the brilliant idea of making MARTA free. And that will increase ridership. Yeah, it'll increase ridership. It'll put more of the very people on those MARTA trains that the city workers and what have you are trying to avoid. It shows the stupidity of government. The Bible is now available in 450 versions of English. In English, 450 versions, including the one I have, the Positive Thinkers. But anyway, some of the latest attempts are to speak the language of modern Americans. I love this. They call it the language of modern Americans. Here is Genesis 2nd chapter, verses 18 and 21 through 23, King James Version. And the Lord God said, it is not good that the man should be... I hope nobody tunes in and thinks they got a religious program going here. But anyway, the Lord God said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a helpmate for him. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof, and the rib which the Lord God had taken from the man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, this is now my bone, now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Now, hey, the Rap Bible, folks. The Rap Bible is out now. How do it sound in the Rap Bible? Same thing. And the Almighty felt it wasn't cool for the brother to be by himself. I'll make him someone to keep time with, God said. So the Almighty put the brother deep in a coma and took out a rib and sealed the place up again. And from the rib he created a sister and brought her down to the brother. Right on, said Adam. This is my woman, 'cause she's part of me, the man. Liz, you gotta get that Bible for me. It might be the only way to get me back to reading the Bible. Right on, said Adam. I can just... a word. 872-0750. 1-800-WSB-TALK. Your phone calls. Get on the lines after the news. Right on. A quick word. Carriage house. Right on, said Adam. Made me a sister. The man made me a sister. Well, I gotta do this. Carriage house imports. Royal South Parkway out there in Atlanta. Your Mercedes-Benz dealer. We were talking earlier about my dream car again. The 600 SEL of the
highs 92 to 96, lows 73. Recapping the forecast this afternoon: hazy sunshine, dangerous heat and humidity, high around 100. I'm WSB meteorologist Kirk Mellish.
Currently, WSB color radar actually shows some rain, though not much near the metro area. There are a few showers indicated to the west around Mableton, and one fair-sized shower showing at the north end of West Point Lake, and some rain in eastern Alabama. Otherwise, just widely scattered, very spotty showers. Mostly sunny skies, the order of the day in Atlanta. Relative humidity at 49%, wind from the west at 7, and a falling barometer at 30.07. At 106, the temperature on Peachtree Street, 89 degrees, but it's much higher around the rest of the metro area with heat indices around 110. Neal Boortz continues on WSB. I'm Bob Glasscoff. If news breaks out, we'll break in on Atlanta's news, weather, and traffic station. News Talk Radio AM-750 WSB. Depend on it.
Oh, pretty good. Hey, Bob.
Yo.
Do you get the idea our thermometer may be busted here?
We are about 5 degrees cooler than any place else in town on a pretty consistent basis. I don't know why, but I'm not fighting with it.
Well, you know, you got this kind of money. You can buy things like that, you know. AM-7, well, we under all these trees. Of course, all these this whole building is surrounded by satellite dishes, reflect all of this stuff back in the... AM-750 WSB 872-0750 800 WSB Talk. How you doing, Ed?
All right, Neal, welcome back.
Well, thanks.
I think the way to solve the problem, I personally have never...
Let's reset the problem, Ed.
Okay, the problem is, as you were stating, it was predators on MARTA.
Well, the problem is that we have a mayor that thinks that the only reason people don't ride MARTA is because they have to pay to do it. The reason a lot of people stay off of MARTA is because they don't think it's safe.
Well,
pure and simple.
Another problem is it's inconvenient, because 9 times out of 10, by the time I get to MARTA, I might as well keep driving.
Yeah. All
okay.
right.
But my solution is, if you made a concealed weapons permit meaningful, in other words, if you took away all the restrictions of, you can't bring it here, you can't bring it there, the damn predators don't give a damn where they carry theirs.
Oh, sure.
I mean, I am forbidden by law, even though I have gone through the trouble of getting a permit. I can't take it to the stadium, but the guy who wants to rip me off in the parking lot can have his. And, of course, it's the gun's fault, not his, when he robs me.
That's right, yeah.
So if you made the concealed weapons permit meaningful and you let people carry it where they needed it, I think people would think twice before they robbed you, like, could this guy just pull something out and blow me away before I get what I want?
Well, you're right. In states where where the restrictions on carrying handguns were eased off, so to speak.
Yeah.
In those states, you see a decrease in the amount of violence. Let's see. During the first 6 months of 1990, states with tough anti-gun laws had increases in crimes. Massachusetts, 22% up. New York, 19% increase in homicides. Hawaii, 29%. In states that didn't have strong laws or who passed pro-gun laws, Colorado, 0% increase. Florida, 2% increase. And Oregon passed a law that allowed more citizens to carry guns, and they had a 34% decrease in murders and assaults with weapons. So there you go. It's obviously a good solution, but it's very politically incorrect, Ed.
That's the truth. You know, because, like, I'm going to tell you, the only time I've ever felt uneasy on MARTA, my wife and I were returning from vacation, and we had taken MARTA to the airport. Everyone getting on at the airport in the car we were in had suitcases with them, or they had some type of uniform or a name badge on that you could tell they had been working at the airport.
Yeah.
And there was one person who got on the train who looked like he was hunting. And everybody on the train just sat there and looked at him the entire time until finally...
What do you mean he looked like he was hunting?
It was like, who is the most vulnerable and who has the most crap in this train?
Yeah.
Who will be the easiest, weakest victim that I can get to?
Well, I don't like riding MARTA to the airport with baggage because I am, as you might have been, very concerned that my baggage is going to get ripped off before I get off that train up in Doraville or Chambly or wherever I'm heading.
Well, I personally like taking MARTA to the airport. You stand just as good a chance of getting ripped off any place.
That is so. If I'm on a business trip and I'm just carrying a briefcase, fine. But if I've got luggage that I have to leave in another area of the car in their luggage area, no,
Yeah.
I don't feel safe.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for the call.
All right.
You see, once again, the problem here is that Maynard Jackson misses the point. Maynard Jackson actually thinks that the reason a lot of people aren't using MARTA is because it costs so much. That they are in their cars because in going through the expense of paying for parking downtown and everything else, because they don't want to ride MARTA because it costs $1.25, $2.50 a day. These downtown city folks, the leaders, these people that are fixated somehow on this idea that Atlanta once again is going to have a viable, vibrant, alive downtown, dreamers, have to get a clue. People stay off of MARTA. Some people for the price, yes. But the people commuting to and from work in downtown Atlanta, because they do not feel safe. Address that and get some riders. Now, I'm not saying that MARTA isn't safe. I'm saying that people don't feel safe. Perceptions become reality. The perception is it's not safe. Now, all the statistics may say, oh, it's a lot safer. It may be. That may be. But the perception out there is, and the people I talk to, it's not safe. So they won't ride it. Do something about that perception. You'll get more people on the trains. Barry, Atlanta, how you doing, Barry?
I'm mighty fine.
Well, that's good.
But I really think that you think either Democrats are fools or you've got to be a fool.
Well, I know I'm a fool.
Well, don't include us in it. But what I want to say is...
Do I think Democrats are fools?
Well,
no, I think they have an agenda that I don't happen to agree with.
Exactly. You think you gather a lot of statistics and spin your perception of those statistics,
Yeah.
like the ones about the people laying off folks because of the tax increase.
Hey, that is a study that was done 9 and 10 days ago.
I agree with you. It's
Yeah.
probably accurate.
Yeah.
However, should the spending cease, say you cut back on spending, how many jobs will be lost because of those tax cuts or those spending cuts? That's the statistic that I want to hear.
Okay, now let me say this to you. When
Whoa.
no, that's a good question. I mean, we just got through going through closing down a lot of military bases, and people lost their jobs.
Wow.
The way to compensate for the loss of jobs, the loss of federal jobs that might go by the wayside if we cut federal spending, is that money, Barry, okay, you turned on your radio, so I'll just have to cut you off the air, and then the money doesn't disappear. If the federal government cuts spending by $1 billion, that money doesn't disappear from the face of the earth. The people who earned that money, that $1 billion, they get to keep it. If you cut the taxes and cut the spending, the money doesn't just vaporize because the federal government isn't spending it. The money's going to get spent somewhere. Who's it going to be spent by? By the companies, by the businesses, by the corporations, and by the individuals who earned it. And how are they going to spend it? On consumer goods, on vacations, on expansion of their business, on hiring more employees. If the federal government stops spending the money, then whatever people were employed by the federal government to facilitate spending that money are going to lose their jobs. Okay, fine, you got a point. But the money then gets transferred to somebody else who will spend it. And they're going to have to hire people to facilitate their spending that money. And at the same time, they will help our economy to grow and expand it in the private sector, where it does us some good, instead of in the public sector, where it strangles us. Let's look at the telephones. A MARTA, ooh, somebody had an incident on a MARTA bus to a Braves game. Want to hear? Somebody says they'll never ride MARTA again. Wonder why? Somebody else says you don't. We got a bunch of MARTA calls up there. See if Maynard Jackson's on the right road. We just cut the fare to nothing and everybody will ride it. Cut the fare to nothing and the damn thing's going to look like a prison bus, what it's going to look like.
AM-750 WSB welcomes Walt Disney's Symphonic Fantasy to Chastain Park, July 25th. Keep listening to win tickets to this wonderful evening. And when you hear this Disney music on WSB...
You on the incontinence car or something?
Excuse me?
Never mind.
They were escorted. They had more police there than I had seen at the presidential speeches. I don't understand how people feel unsafe. I mean, it was quick, it was convenient.
What do you mean you don't? Where did you ride it from?
Well, I mean, I rode it from the airport.
You got on at the airport?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I go to the games all the time. I'm probably going to go tonight. I know damn well I'm going to go tomorrow night and see this McGruff guy or whatever. And let you and I talk about that in a second. Okay. But, Doug, I talk to people that are at those games with the parking hassle that they have at the stadium right now. These people say, first of all, they don't want to park their cars at places like Hightower or some of the East lines. They don't want to park their car down around East Point or some of the cars in the South line. They're scared to death of what happens when they're walking after a game, late at night, when it's dark, walking from their car or from the station to the car. They read the paper just as you do, just as I did, and saw that a man was shot on the train because he wouldn't give up a portable radio to some predator. And add to that the immense, hard-to-believe stupidity of the planners of this system that didn't even put a station anywhere near the largest venue in the city of Atlanta at that time, the stadium.
Okay, well, Neal, maybe we need some more security in the MARTA parking lots after the games or something.
That's something
that could be arranged.
Doug, that's what I'm saying. Maynard Jackson says we'll get more people on MARTA if we make it cheaper. I say you get more people on MARTA if you make them feel safe.
Okay, but Neal, I think there's an underlying problem, however, in that, I don't want to sound like a racist here, however, I think white people are just generally afraid of blacks, and it doesn't matter if there are some extra security guards or something. They just basically feel uncomfortable around blacks.
I'm not going to deny that. Now, Doug, is there any reason, can you think of any reason in the world why white people in the Atlanta area should feel like their safety is perhaps compromised somehow when they venture into the inner city and find themselves in large groups of black people?
Well, at times, Neal, but not across the board. I mean, there are certain places they can go where they're going to be safe.
Yeah.
I mean, they shouldn't go wandering down.
Well, don't you think that one of those places should be MARTA?
Yeah, and I think it is.
Well,
I think MARTA is primarily
I think it is, too. I think it's... Now, the last time I rode... When was the last time I rode MARTA? I rode MARTA... Gosh, it was just the last couple of weeks. Where was I going from and to? Doesn't matter. But the 4th of July. The 4th of July, I rode MARTA from the Omni station up to Lindbergh. And sure enough, there was a gang of about 10 kids, 5 girls and 5, but evilly, that were playing grab-ass with one another on the MARTA train that I was on. And it caused my wife to feel very ill at ease. Finally, a heavily armed MARTA police officer stepped onto that car, and that stopped the little groping and what have you that was going on, and everything settled down. But my wife remembers that. And if tonight she wanted to go to the Fox Theater or the Symphony or what have you, am I going to be able to talk her into taking MARTA? No, because she's going to remember what happened on that train on the 4th of July. And I'm going to remember it, too, and I'll think twice before I say, honey, why don't you take MARTA? Park the car up at Chamblee and take MARTA. I'm going to think twice about it, Doug. And it's not going to be because of the cost. It's going to be because of the perception out there that there's something unsafe about it.
But Neal, I mean, there are misbehaving
teenagers, no matter where you go. I mean, I was out in Sandy Springs and was caught a nigger by a group of white kids.
I hope you got out and pounded the crap out of each and every one of them.
Catch them, I would have, but the car was driving away at the time. I'm just saying that, but I wasn't in fear of these kids.
Yeah.
And if they're grabbing on each other's asses and not yours, then, you know, I mean, you're not necessarily in jeopardy in that situation.
Hey, listen, by the way, what do you think of McGriff?
Oh, I think it's great.
You think it's great? What about Sid Bream? Gee, thanks for all you've done for us, Sid.
Well, you know, I mean, you got to go by present performance.
I don't know. I have an uneasy feeling about this. I don't think it's going to be all that it's been cracked up to be. Okay. I just don't. And you call me up and tell me when you figure out I'm wrong on that, okay?
All right.
Okay, thanks, Doug.
Still safe, though.
I believe it's safe. We're not talking reality. We're talking perceptions. Talking perception. A politically correct crisis approaching us, ladies and gentlemen, from Harlingen, Texas. It is official. The honeybees that swarmed and killed an 82-year-old rancher last week were, according to Associated Press, the dreaded Africanized variety, better known as killer bees. Now, we have two crises approaching us, ladies and gentlemen. Number one, the killer bees be on the way. Number two, they are being referred to as Africanized. Now, think about this. We have a perfectly docile little animal called the honeybee that sits around making honey all the time and doesn't really bother you unless you bother it. The American honeybee minds its own damn bee business. It collects pollen from the flower and makes honey and other bees. Okay? And then all of a sudden, we come across a strain of the honeybee that's not content with simply collecting pollen and making little bees and honey and stuff like that. No, we come across a different type of honeybee that swarms together and kills for the pure D hell of it. Just for fun. It's a vicious bee. It is they are predator bees, is what they are. And we're calling them killer bees or Africanized honeybees. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this political incorrectness cannot be allowed to continue. It is a direct slam on black Americans. It is thinly veiled racism. And we need to be aware of it right now on the Neal Boortz Show and stop this reference to this vicious killer strain of honeybees as being Africanized. It's just nothing but thinly veiled racism. On the search.
Do you know who the #1 realtor in Atlanta is? Here's a hint. They outsell the competition 3-1 with over 1,200 full-time sales associates. If you said RE/MAX, you're absolutely right. And those full-time associates average twice the experience of other real estate agents. In fact, on the average, RE/MAX associates have been in real estate nearly 10 years, supplying a wealth of experience and expertise. And now RE/MAX has made buying or selling a home even easier with the R.S. Andrews Peace of Mind Home Warranty Plan. With Peace of Mind, your home is protected against major breakdown expenses on items like the heating and air conditioning system, plumbing system, major appliances, and more. And it's serviced by R.S. Andrews, a name Atlanta has trusted for heating, air conditioning, and plumbing service for over 25 years. If you're buying or selling a home, call the #1 realtor who's above the crowd, RE/MAX, and ask them about R.S. Andrews Peace of Mind Home Warranty Plan. R.S. Andrews is a Georgia Power Good Sense dealer because Good Sense features save energy and money for you, featuring Carrier heating and cooling equipment.
Shoe World? What is that? Some kind of unknown planet? Well, let me guess. If you don't work, you're a loafer. If you're in the law, you're a court shoe. If you're a refugee, you're a boat shoe. Why don't they call it Shoe Planet, Shoe Globe, Shoe Terra Firma? Am I spanning the globe on this? Who cares? All I know is one day you got Pick and Pay, Barrett, and Shoe City stores all over Atlanta. The next day, they're all Shoe World. Why not Shoe Empire? It's the shoe store that ate the world, all because they say they've got a new line of shoes for everyone. At prices so low, I'm asking, is that for a left and a right? Oh, they wouldn't dare. Sam, stretching these getaway sticks double time. Hoping it's so hard my dogs are barking, biting even. But see that world of selection, low prices. If it's true, I'll buy a pair of new shoes. Zapatos, street skins. If it's not true, I'm gonna flick the tip of the salesman's nose. Hard, real hard. Welcome to Shoe World.
Shoe World, a world of selection at down-to-earth prices. Don't miss our grand opening, August 2nd at 57 locations all across Atlanta.
It's your nose's lucky day, pal.
All right. Hey, before we go to the news, Back Technologies, boy, could Glasscoff, could he use one of these machines? Back Technologies, still an avid sponsor on the Neal Boortz program because they know that Neal Boortz is generally a pain in the butt. And that pain starts to travel upwards into your back and your neck, and sooner or later you need help. And you end up calling for the free brochure and the free video on the back machine. A wonderful machine. It's not a workout. I mean, this is something you can do after you get dressed for work in the morning because you're not going to work up a sweat doing this. It's not one of these things. It's just, you just use the machine for a couple of minutes and you just feel so loose. You could bend over and put your elbows on the ground without bending your knees. A little bit of traction, some massage, relaxation, some stretching. And after a couple of weeks of working with this machine, you can say TTFN to your back pain. Call for the free brochure and video, 800-241-BACK. 800-241-2225.
Start every day with Atlanta's morning news. Everything you need to stay informed. Atlanta's news, weather, and traffic station. AM-750 WSB. Depend on it.
It's 1:31. Good afternoon. I'm Bob Glasgow. In the WSB News Center, the mercury is heading toward record territory around Georgia again this afternoon. Stay inside if you can. If you have to be outside, take it easy. Try to stay in the shade. Drink plenty of water. FBI Director William Sessions, who administration officials say is on the verge of being fired by President Clinton, is not talking, but his wife is. When questioned about word that her husband will be fired if he doesn't resign, Alice Sessions asked, "What's the difference?" It could soon get a little easier to be gay and in the military. The president set to announce a relaxation of the military ban on gays. The new policy would amount to allowing homosexuals to serve if they keep it in the closet, restricting what the military could do to them. Backers of a Colorado anti-gay rights initiative say they expect to prevail despite a ruling today by that state's Supreme Court. The justices are blocking the provision. They say it would violate the constitutional rights of homosexuals. Atlanta's City Council may take up an issue of interest to homosexual city employees and others with live-in unmarried partners. A measure to extend city benefits to them is before a committee. Could be brought before the council. And Illinois highway officials say a key link across the Mississippi should be opened by tomorrow at the latest. The bridge between Hamilton, Illinois and Keokuk, Iowa will be the only open bridge along a 175-mile stretch of the river. News Talk Radio, AM-750 WSB, just ahead, weather and traffic.
If you're a baseball fan, you've probably fantasized about what it would be like to face a pro ball player with a full count and a winning run 90 feet away. Well, now TGI Fridays and Coca-Cola have teamed up to give you, the baseball fan, the ultimate baseball experience. The chance to win an all-expense-paid trip to Baseball Dream Week in Florida, where you'll take the field and play ball with some of the biggest names in the history of baseball. A week of practice, tips, stories, and games. Coca-Cola and TGI Fridays are also giving away trips to Philadelphia or San Diego to see an Atlanta away game, tickets to Atlanta home games, and dinners for two at Fridays. So if you're a baseball fanatic, come by Fridays today. Sign up for the Baseball Dream Week sweepstakes and win the ultimate baseball week.
Details at participating Atlanta area Fridays. No purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents 18 or older. Must be at least 30 to qualify for grand prize. Void where prohibited. Sweepstakes ends July 31st. Register at any one of 5 Atlanta area Fridays, including M.A.R.T.A, 1925 Powers Ferry Road, 1 block south of Windy Hill.
Did you know there are millions of species of insects? Well, luckily, not all of them live in your yard, but the ones that do can damage your lawn, trees, shrubs, and flowers, as well as create a nuisance indoors. To control these common insect pests, just remember one name: Dursban insecticide. Dursban is found in many popular insecticides in a variety of formulations, from liquids and aerosols to granules, dust, dry fertilizers, and even flea collars. Now, why is Dursban so popular? Well, because it works. Dursban has been tested and proven effective in over 140 common lawn, garden, and household pests, including fire ants, fleas, ticks, mole crickets, ants, billbugs, and cockroaches. And you can use Dursban with confidence because it's broken down by sunlight, heat, or moisture. When you're outnumbered, get the insect control you can count on. Look for the insecticide at your favorite store with the name Doorsban on the package. If it doesn't say Doorsban, it's not the best.
Kroger would like to remind all seniors 60 years young and up that every Wednesday you can save 5% on all purchases. Of course, seniors are special every day at Kroger, and offering an extra 5% discount all day every Wednesday is their way of showing it. So for goodness sake, go Krogering on Wednesdays and save an extra 5%.
News Talk Radio, AM-750 WSB. It's 1:35. Now sponsored by your local Atlanta Kroger store. Chris Monroe with a live update from the WSB Skycopter and Skyplane Traffic Center.
Now, Bob, we're wrapping up the lunch rush hour this afternoon in great shape on the expressways. Interstate 75, 85, 20, and the perimeter, all moving without any major delays for you. Up in Cobb County, you're going to find Cooper Lake roadblocks between King Springs and Nickajack because of some railroad work that's in progress there. North Druid Hills at I-85, a wreck clearing in DeKalb County. And over in East Atlanta, we get word that we have a tractor trailer. It's load shifted on Boulevard at Confederate. That's affecting both north and southbound lanes of Boulevard. Avoid the area if you can. I'm Chris Monroe at the WSB Skycopter and Skyplane Traffic Center.
Any thunderstorm that develops in the heat wave would be heavy or strong by 8 p.m. through 11 p.m. Forecast, hazy sunshine, dangerous heat and humidity, high near 101. Tonight's low, 76. Partly sunny tomorrow, hazy, very hot and steamy. Again, only a 30% chance for a heavy thunderstorm toward evening, high 97. Extended outlook Wednesday through Friday, still only a 30% chance for a late day, early night thunderstorm, highs 92 to 96. Recapping the forecast this afternoon, hazy sunshine, dangerous heat and humidity, a high around 100. I'm WSB meteorologist Kirk Mellish.
At 1:36, the temperature on Peachtree Street, 90 degrees. Temperature index, or humidity index readings around the metro area, around 110. I'm Bob Glasscoff, and if news breaks out, we'll break in. News Talk Radio, AM-750 WSB. Depend on it.
AM-750 WSB. It's the Neal Boortz Show. 872-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk. Look at this. Where did you get this, Liz? Out of, open your mouth. I can't hear a thing you're saying there.
Sunday's paper and the circulars that they send out.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
this was in the Sunday paper? That you can now order personalized bank checks with Elvis's picture on it. Elvis Presley pictures. All of them, the thinner, good-looking Elvis, not the fat-ass drug addict Elvis that died on the tour. They ought to. They ought to have a picture of Elvis sitting on the throne in here somewhere. And that would always be the last check in each pad. The last one would be Elvis sitting on the throne. And then when you write that check, it's all over. God, I would be so embarrassed to write anybody a check with Elvis Presley's picture on it. I could not ever imagine doing something like that. Dale from Riverdale on the Neal Boortz Show, AM-750 WSB. Hi, Dale.
How you doing?
Would you ever write a check with, get an Elvis check?
I wouldn't send a stamp with Elvis on it, much less. I'll go buy the Joe Louis stamp today to let you know that. I would not send anything with Elvis, period.
No, me neither.
Not a Christmas Elvis, not a Santa Claus Elvis.
Why do we spend so much time glorifying a drug addict that went and died at the same time?
You ask my mother that. She is the foundation of Elvis.
Oh, man.
I think my father didn't see her for 2 weeks after she died.
I don't understand it. Just don't understand it. But go ahead, sir.
But my quick comment on MARTA is very simple. I went to a Monday night football game with Dallas, and me and my brother-in-law rode MARTA up there.
Yeah.
And on the way up there, they stopped at the Fort McPherson stop. And I guarantee you there were 6 people that stepped on that bus, black and white. I wouldn't know. The entire ride, they cursed, they swore, they picked on an old lady, and it just, to me, never. I will never in my life ever get on a MARTA train. I don't care if it's from the airport to the next stop. There's no way It's just, they're not paid that, you know, they tell you it's cheap and it's economical and it's clean. It's all economical and clean, but when you've got no authority on it, you got one guy driving the train that's two miles long. I mean, it makes no difference.
I wonder right now, first of all, how many, with all of the trains that are running in Atlanta right now, how many MARTA police officers are there actually on those trains?
Not enough.
And there's one thing that I have been suggesting that MARTA do for years, and they, to my knowledge, they have never done it. I'm almost certain they have not done it. Plain clothes police officers.
Yes, sir.
Plain clothes MARTA police officers on those trains. If these kids, these people that like to get on there and, you know, the white kids that like to harass black passengers and the black passengers that like to harass whatever, if they know that MARTA has a staff of 50 plainclothes police officers, you know, some of them look like pencil-neck geeks with computers. Some of them have dreadlocks, whatever. Mm-hmm. If they know that they're out there, that would instantly quiet things down on those trains.
Yes, sir.
And I don't understand why they seem to always focus on cost when it comes to increasing ridership and don't pay any attention to the perceptions of safety, or lack thereof.
I rode the subways in New York one time when I went to see my brother-in-law in New York, and we should be thankful for what we've got, because New York is like venturing into hell, really. You step on that train, you don't know if the guy beside you is going to cut you with a knife or what he's going to do.
Yeah, I've ridden those subways too.
No, it's not fun, but you know, this is what we got to look forward to 3 years from now with the Olympics. You know, we are going to be embarrassed worldwide, and Maynard or whoever's going to take over had better wake up and look, because...
Oh, how's that tent city going up there at the new stadium site with these 100-degree temperatures?
I know the air conditioner's not working too good.
Man, I think we need a right guard airdrop up there or something, you know.
Probably right at this time of day.
Okay, well, thanks. Oh, tent city. That started happening just as I left town. You know what that whole tent city is? The whole thing is financed by union money. It's just an attempt on the part of the unions to extort money out of the Olympic effort to pay overpriced tradesmen in construction. Oh, well, we'll have plenty of time to deal with that one later. AM-750 WSB, we have Paul from Stone Mountain. Hi, Paul. Talk to me, Paul.
All right. This is what I think about MARTA.
What do you think, Paul?
I would be personally scared to ride MARTA. I mean, I think that, you know, we have a problem. We need to, like the idea you said about the police, the plainclothes police, that would be a very good idea in my opinion. Because, you know, I'd heard of a friend of mine who had to have brain surgery because of a pressure spot against his skull. Had to have part of his brain removed because he got jumped on a MARTA bus for reasons I'm not sure of, but I would not ride MARTA bus for anything, or MARTA train.
Well, I do. I ride it sometimes, but I can tell you for a certainty, if I went home tonight, and Donna said, Donna, you know, she subscribes to all of these artsy things. You know, we go down quite frequently to the Alliance Theater and Symphony and Fox and what have you. If she said, look, me and Mabel, a friend of hers, we're going to go down to the Fox Theater tonight to see this movie. Would you take us to Chambly and put us on the MARTA train and then pick us up? And I said, no. Not at night. No way. I'll take you down to the movie, and I'll be there to pick you out when it's over, if you don't want to drive yourself. And that's the way I would react right now. And I may be dead wrong, but that is the way I would react. I come back from being out of the country for a while, and blammo, there it is. People shot on the trains because they wouldn't give up a portable radio. And then Maynard Jackson, well, we just make it more affordable and more people will ride it. Oh, yeah, right, Maynard, that's okay. I'll take a chance of getting my ass shot off if I just don't have to pay $1.25 for it. Jeez.
It's pretty sad.
It's ridiculous. These politicians don't have a clue.
You're a libertarian, am I correct?
Well, I've been called worse. I've been called a libertine.
Well.
But why? Do you want to pick a bone with a libertarian?
No, in fact, I consider myself one.
Well, we are the salt of the earth. We're the only people that have a clue.
Yeah.
So, well, welcome aboard, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you very much. AM-750 WSB, and Matt from Norcross is next. Hi, Matt.
Hey, blah, 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 from old Norcross.
Well, thank you, sir.
Hey, I just wanted to let you know, I've been listening to you guys, and I had an incident recently that was kind of on the subject here. My father-in-law and I went down to a Braves game on Saturday night game. We won the game in the bottom of the ninth. Everybody was pumped up.
What's this? They won the game.
Well, yeah, we, the good guys.
What did you do? Did you single in the winning run?
Yeah, that was me. I was pinch hit. No, so we're on the way back. We got on at 5 points. You know how you get on the train, you got 2 seats immediately inside the door that run parallel with the wall?
Yeah, yeah.
And the rest of them all run, either face in front or back.
Yeah.
So we get on, there's a few people at the door, everybody gets on. I sit down immediately in a seat, and a gal sits down next to me. Good-sized guy stands in front of her next to the front 2 seats that face the front of the train. He says, "You want to sneak in here?" Talking to the girl. My father-in-law is 52. He thinks he's talking to him. He goes, "Yeah, thanks," and jumps in the seat. That was a mistake, right? Now, this isn't, a young, earlier you were talking, white people afraid of black people and stuff. This was a big white guy, okay? This wasn't like, he didn't have an X on his head.
Yeah, but he was wearing a tank top.
Well, no, I'll get to the tank top later. There is a hook in here about the tank top.
Yeah.
But anyways, so my father-in-law says, yeah, and he jumps there. He's 52. He's not a big guy. Guy grabs him by the shoulder, lifts him up a little bit, and says, "Hey, you blanking old man, I was holding that for the lady." So here's a real polite guy trying to be polite to his wife, but he's got my father-in-law by the shirt.
Oh, so what did you do?
Well, so my father-in-law, first of all, goes, "Get your blanking hands off me," and swings the guy loose. The guy goes, "Hey, old man, I'll kick your ass." So I jumped up and said, "I'm with him, and I'm not an old man." Now, this guy I'm 6'3", he was about 6'4".
Yeah.
But I had my tank top on.
Oh, you were the one with the tank top.
My tank top said in bright letters, "Detroit, where the weak are killed and eaten." Okay? So he reads this, and he says, "Okay." I said, "If your girlfriend wants to sit next to you, that's fine. I'll sit here." And I jumped into the chair in the aisle that was facing the front. He ended up sitting. Now, again, this wasn't a gang.
Where the weak are killed.
Yeah. I was born and raised up there. But I don't know if it was the tank top or I think the guy realized he'd been a jerk, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And, I don't think he was, it doesn't matter. It's not the color.
I think you should have just kicked his butt just for general principles.
Well, again, it's and now look, the next day, I had tickets for the next day, too, and I take my wife and kids on MARTA from time to time. We go downtown. We go to the top of the high hotels there and look out the window in the revolving restaurants.
Yeah.
And I've ridden MARTA a lot of times, but, it's not a color thing. It's none of that. It's just there's an element of people down there that don't get along with each other. And, they're not black, and they're not white, and they're not big, and they're not small. They're all the above.
They're just sorry.
Yeah, they're just predators. So anyways, that's what happened. And I also was on at one time coming back from the airport, and they had to stop the train for 20 minutes because they had a body on the platform on the North Avenue station.
Well, things like that.
Yeah.
Was he crispied?
I don't know. I didn't get to see it. They stopped the train.
You run over them 2 or 3 times, and those rails are just as clean as new. There's got to be a limit to how many people you're going to inconvenience because some urban outdoorsman falls across the third rail.
I hear you.
Well, thanks.
All right, man.
AM-750 WSB. I got to take this break now because I got a caller named Marty. There's always time. There's always time. 872-0750, the number.
Summer 1992. Game 1, play 1 in the Georgia Dome.
Chris Miller will throw on first down. Deep down the near sideline. Michael Haynes is there. He's got it. He could go. Touchdown. Falcons on the first play from offense.
If you missed the very first play of the Dome, don't dare miss this year's first play. Join Bill Rosinski, Jeff Van Ote, and Neil Williamson as they cover the brick wall defense and the NFL's most explosive offense. Game 1, August 6th, when the Falcons meet the Dolphins, exclusively on News Talk Radio, AM-750 WSB.
We're here to demonstrate the pure refreshment of Nestea iced tea. Okay, fellas, let's get things jumping with a demonstration of what Nestea looks like. As you can hear, Nestea is a wonderfully clear tea. No little bits floating around, no cloudiness, just pure, refreshing iced tea. Okay, now let's hear what Nestea tastes like. Oh, yeah. Nestea tastes every bit as pure, clean, and refreshing as it looks. How about another taste? Nestea, you can see the difference, taste the difference, even hear the difference. Go on, take the plunge. Now you can plunge into a whole new world of iced tea flavors like raspberry, peach, and apple spice. Clean, clear, and refreshing. Exactly what you'd expect from Nestea. So go for your favorite flavors and go for the Nestea plunge.
Get in on the fun that thousands of women across the country are having. These women can't believe their eyes. They didn't think it was possible. A new and beautiful look at Glamour Shots. Glamour Shots has been showing women a new image, and they've been sharing their glamorous look with family and friends. At Glamour Shots, a photographic makeup artist will give you that high fashion image. Then an expert photographer will guide you through an exciting 15-pose photo session in your choice of outfits from their extensive wardrobe and accessories collection. Instant viewing of your color video proofs allows you to choose your favorites immediately. Print packages are available at very affordable prices. And now there's no excuse for not experiencing this excitement, because the next 15 callers at 1-800-GLAMOUR will receive the full Glamour Shots high fashion photo session for only $10. That's right, just $10, and you'll see the new glamorous you. But call now and make your appointment, because this special offer ends today. Call Glamour Shots now. 1-800-GLAMOUR. That's 1-800-GLAMOUR.
Was going to happen. Just the hassle of selling those tickets for people that didn't have the personnel or the space, and others will join in. Another reminder, and I tell you about these great sales at Benny's all of the time, but this really is my favorite shoe, unless you're talking about tennis shoes. It's Rockport, and they have a couple of styles of Rockport shoes on sale right now at Benny. Well, they're always on sale. But they have the dress sport, the casual dress, Pro Walker 7100, and the Pro Walker 9000. You know the Pro Walker 9000 usually sells for $125. Well, Benny's, of course, discounts those prices every day at all three Benny's locations. But now, for the next couple of days, these Rockport shoes are going to be an additional 20% off Benny's everyday price. This Rockport dress sport, that's the only type of dress shoe I really want to wear now. So comfortable. You could run a marathon in these things. Benny's Shoes, Lindbergh Plaza, 2581 Piedmont Road. That's the Sidney Marcus Boulevard side of Lindbergh. In Smyrna at Cumberland Square North, 2441 Cobb Parkway, half-mile north of Cumberland. Norcross, Brook Hollow Parkway, right down from that Malibu Grand Prix thing, I-85 at Indian Trail. AM-750 WSB. Okay, I gotta get Marty. Then there's a bunch of great calls here. Todd, Joe, Greg, Tommy, not in that order. Let's hang in there. I want to get your calls on. Marty, what's up?
Neil, how you doing?
I'm okay, sir.
Hey, I just happened to hear, what was it about the Elvis checks or something like that?
Yeah, you can get personalized checks with Elvis's fat mug all over them.
Yeah, I saw that. It was a flyer in the Sunday.
That's where Liz tells me she found it.
Yeah. And what were y'all doing, slamming it like Elvis shouldn't be on checks?
No, I don't. I think it's perfectly legal to have him on checks. I just wouldn't be caught dead writing one.
Uh-huh.
And if somebody gave me a check with Elvis's picture on it, I would be embarrassed to deposit it in my account.
Oh, why's that? He's an American legend, isn't he?
He's a fat drug addict that died on the toilet.
He's more famous than any other president. I mean, really. JFK, or let me rephrase it, FDR has got to probably be the most popular president of the 20th century.
Oh,
true?
no.
True?
Oh, no.
Either him or JFK, and Elvis surpasses both of them.
Look, you're talking popularity and notoriety. Bottom line, What is Elvis Presley? A fat, self-indulgent drug addict that died on the toilet.
Neil, okay. Neil, the thing is Elvis did not die in the toilet. He was in his bathroom, which was a luxury bathroom, sitting in a recliner, reading.
Where did you hear this?
Neil, where did you hear that he died on the...
Oh, come on. It was one of these
He did not die in the toilet.
Boom. Oh, listen, if he was in a recliner, then Elvis takes dumps in his recliner.
No,
He died with his pants down around his ankles.
No, he didn't.
Sitting on the commode. He did, too. You go to Graceland right now, and they'll show you that bathroom, and it's still got the white police outline of his body laying on the carpet right in front of the John.
Neal, okay, you finished? Now, Neal, the thing is first of all, when you go to the tour, they don't allow you upstairs.
Oh, well, you just didn't have the right tour guide.
Yeah.
I
They
said,
gave you that special Neal Boortz
by the
tour,
way,
didn't
that house really isn't all that special now, is it?
Well, how come it's on the National Register
Well,
then?
because a fat drug addict. I mean, you think about it in terms of today's homes, there's nothing really special about that house. Except that he had it decorated like a French whorehouse.
Well, the thing is, you have to understand, this is 1977. Now, Elvis would, if he was alive today, he wouldn't sit there and say, well, I think I'll live 16 years ago.
Huh?
True? No,
There's no... You can't accurately guess what a drug addict is going to do.
Neal, the thing is why does everyone want to dwell on what Elvis... I mean, who's to say you wouldn't handle fame the exact same way? Feel like you were mobbed every single time you left the station. People tearing at your clothes just to get a piece of you. Who's to say that you couldn't handle fame like that? 22 years straight, being on top.
Jeez. Look. If you want to idolize the guy, fine. He was out of control. He died going to the bathroom because things weren't flowing quite as easily as he would have liked for them to. He closed his eyes, went, and that was it. That was it. He fell face forward right off the toilet and died right there. And this is the guy that you're trying to portray as some sort of a god for all of us to revere.
No, Neal. I never said he was a god. He was a human being, plain and simple. He was a human being. He was a great human being. And the thing to sit there and say...
He was a drug addict. How can
Neal, the thing is to sit there and say, oh, Elvis was just this and that. What? He didn't have all those #1 hits? He wasn't generous to all these people? And when he was generous to them, Neal, he wouldn't sit there and do that to say, oh, I want to get in the paper, I want to do this. It's because he remembered where he came from. He remembered that the fans put him where he was at, and the fans could take him. Sports figures or rock and roll figures or any kind of figures today, they've all lost that. I mean,
the fans didn't put him on that toilet seat with a belly full of pills. He did that to himself. AM-750 WSB, the Neal Boortz Show. We have an hour of this fun left. Hope you'll be staying around for that. 872-0750, 800-WSB, talk. Give us a call. Why don't you deal with the best? Hi, this is Neal Boortz, and I'm speaking to you for Cherokee Edwards Heating and Air Conditioning. Now listen, you've been hearing me for years go on and on about how good these people are. Well, you want to save money, don't you? Cherokee Edwards is a Georgia Power Good Sense dealer. Cherokee Edwards sells quality like a MARTA, high-efficiency heating and air conditioning systems. These new high-quality, energy-efficient MARTA systems are built for years of comfort and backed by the Georgia Power Good Sense program. That means you're going to save even more. Remember the name and the phone number, Cherokee Edwards Heating and Air, 813-2150. They work round the clock. They've got somebody there right now to answer the phone, so give them a call. Cherokee Edwards, 813-2150. That's Cherokee Edwards Heating and Air Conditioning, your quality MARTA dealer, and proud to be your Georgia Power Good Sense dealer. Again, the phone number, and you can call them right now, 813-2150.
Atlanta's Morning News. Get all the news, weather, and traffic every morning from Atlanta's news, weather, and traffic station. AM-750 WSB. Depend on it.
WSB Atlanta. News Talk Radio, AM-750 WSB. Time at the tone, 2 o'clock.
Good afternoon. I'm Bob Glasscoff in the AM-750 WSB News Center. Temperature at 2 o'clock. 91 degrees. Factor in the humidity, though. It will hit you like 110 out there, and it is going to get hotter. The exclusive WSB 5-day forecast in just a few minutes. It is hotter than, well, Atlanta hit the century mark yesterday afternoon. Set a record for July 18th. WSB meteorologist Kirk Mellish says when the temperature gets this hot, among other things, watch out for the kids.
Inside your attic of your home, inside an automobile, with just slight ventilation, the temperature is easily soaring above 100, 150, 160, maybe 200 degrees at the extreme, and that is not fit for man nor beast, or certainly not for child.
And with those heat index readings, we are in the danger zone already. Heat exhaustion can claim its victims fast. Best advice, just take it easy. We'll get the latest on all this and when it might go away when we check in with Kirk in a couple of minutes. With the heat, more demand for water, and water restrictions are becoming more common. In Forsyth County, City of Cumming eased regulations to allow outdoor watering on an odd, even basis, but in Cherokee County, officials are now calling for voluntary cutbacks in water use to avoid a mandatory ban. Now, vacation's over for students at College Park Elementary. That's right. It's the first day of class for year-round school. 500 kids are coming off 5 weeks of vacation. Principal Gary Field says they'll get another 4 weeks in September.
Yeah, in fact, I think this opens up additional opportunities for vacation. My parents have found that in the fall, we take a 3-week break in the fall. That's during the tourist rates, and they can take advantage of the good rates down at Disneyland or wherever.
No problem with the heat for the students. The school is air-conditioned. Within the hour, President Clinton outlines his policy on gays in the military. Candidate Clinton promised to lift the ban on homosexuals in uniform, but indications are the president has settled for a don't ask, don't tell, don't pursue policy. The White House calls it a step forward. We'll let you know as soon as the announcement's official. News Talk Radio, AM-750 WSB. Coming up, maybe the floods are receding. Plus the weather from Atlanta's only full-time radio meteorologist and WSB traffic.
Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar introduces Summer Fare. Definitely summer's coolest food. Now, sometimes cool food is cold, like Applebee's Oriental Chicken Salad with toasted almonds, crispy Chinese noodles, and crunchy Oriental greens. That's cold. Or Fiesta Chicken Salad with corkscrew pasta and a spicy Southwestern black bean salsa. But sometimes Summer Fare cool food is hot, like tequila lime chicken with crispy tortilla strips and Mexicali rice. Whoa, that just about sizzles. Or Veggie Patch Pizza, bubbling hot. Summer Fare at Applebee's. Sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's cold, but it's always cool.
America's favorite neighbor, Applebee's.
Enjoy summer's coolest food at any of TJ Applebee's 19 Atlanta locations.
Pro Series Computer Factory Outlet.
The way you buy computers in Atlanta is about to change. Forever.
Pro Series Computer Factory Outlet.
The way you buy computers in Atlanta is about to change forever. Look for the public grand opening on Saturday, July 31st.
News Talk Radio, AM-750 WSB. It's 2:03. Mississippi River floodwaters are said to have crested at St. Louis. Correspondent Tony Winton reports on efforts to control the Decatur River there.
This street along the river is under 4 feet of water. Now, city workers like Ed Brooks are on standby with dump trucks full of sandbags to respond to any weak spots. But he thinks the worst is over.
They say it started to go down today, so.
Do you see any evidence of that?
Oh, yeah.
You think it's about time?
Oh, yeah. Past time.
The river may have crested, but it will be a long time before floodwaters recede. And only then can the long cleanup process start. Tony Winton, South St. Louis.
And it is official. Honeybees that swarmed and killed an 82-year-old rancher in Texas last week were the dreaded Africanized variety, more popularly known as killer bees. Lino Lopez is the first person killed by Africanized bees in the United States since the aggressive variety showed up in Texas in 1990. On Wall Street, Dow Jones Industrials down 2 points at 3,526. News Talk Radio, AM-750 WSB. It's 2:04. Now sponsored by Pro Series Computer Factory Warehouse. A live update from the WSB Skycopter Skyplane Traffic Center in trouble on 85.
That's right. We've got a Neal Boortz special on the Northeast Expressway working this afternoon. Wreck involving a jackknife tractor trailer Interstate 85 southbound, just below Shallowford Road. It has your 2 left lanes blocked, quickly putting you in that slow traffic back towards Chamblee-Tucker and Spaghetti Junction. Here's a suggestion of how to get around it. Get off at Chamblee-Tucker or Shallowford and use the southbound access road to get back to Claremont Road. Then you can get back on the freeway, and that will save you some time, but I would avoid that section of 85 right now. Over in East Atlanta, we have a stalled tractor-trailer. Apparently, it's load shifted on Boulevard at Confederate. That's got Boulevard completely blocked. They're rerunning traffic onto Ormwood, but you'll want to use Capitol or Moreland as your north-south alternate this afternoon. I'm Chris Monroe with the WSB Skycopter and Skyplane Traffic Center.
News Talk Radio, AM-750, WSB, where the hotline number is the same as our name. Dial WSB NEWS. And Bell South Mobility customers, call asterisk 750 free. Now, Atlanta's most accurate weather, WSB meteorologist Kirk Mellish.
Forecast this afternoon, hazy sunshine with dangerous heat and humidity, highs 96 to 103. Tonight, a 30% chance for an isolated heavy thunderstorm by 8 p.m. or later, low 76. Tomorrow, partly sunny, hazy, very hot and steamy, with a 30% chance for a heavy thunderstorm toward evening, high 97, low 76. And the extended forecast, Wednesday through Friday, a little less hot, but still only a 30% chance for a late day or early night thunderstorm, highs Wednesday through Friday, 92 to 96, low 73. Recapping the forecast this afternoon, hazy sunshine, dangerous heat and humidity, high near 101. I'm WSB meteorologist Kirk Mellish.
The sun's shining in Atlanta, but WSB color radar shows some rain elsewhere, some showers around Macon, and a fair-sized bunch of rain around West Point Lake stretching up toward the metro area, beginning to show some signs of organizing and intensifying. Otherwise, just a few isolated spotty ones around the state. Wind from the northwest at 12. Barometer 30.05 and falling. And at 2:06, the temperature on Peachtree Street, 91 degrees, but heat index readings out there put it well up over 105, some around 110. Neal Boortz continues on WSB. I'm Bob Glasscoff. And if news breaks out, we'll break in. This is Atlanta's news, weather, and traffic station, News Talk Radio, AM-750, WSB. Depend on it.
Well, in about 8 minutes from now, the leader of the free world, President Slick Willie Clinton, will be addressing, making a speech where he's going to outline his gays in the military policy. Personally, let him in, let him man those 16 inchers on them battleships. AM-750 WSB, it's the Neal Boortz Show. I'm going to get out of here in about an hour, but until that time. Oh, here's a book that Liz has ordered for me. It's written by a dude by the name of Charles Sy. Don't you love that? Right on, said Adam. The Rap Bible. Liz, are you going to order me the Rap Bible too?
You bet, Neal.
Right on. How would you... Now, what about the shortest verse in the Bible, Jesus wept? How would that be rewritten in the Rap? Royal, you going to help us out here?
Dude cried.
Dude cried. The man cried. Okay, so Charlie Sykes writes this book called A Nation of Victims, The Decay of the American Character. He said America's become a nation of spoiled crybabies who are whining their lives away. Happiness is no longer something to work for, but something people believe they're entitled to, he said. If you lose your job, you sue your boss for mental distress. If you get drunk and run your car into a tree, you sue the bar that sold you the liquor. Americans expect life to be pain-free. Whining, self-pity. Oh, man, if you sleep around, gamble away your money, drink yourself into the gutter, and ignore your family, you're no longer irresponsible. You're merely in need of treatment. Another book on the way. Can't wait to get my hands on that one. We have Todd from Tucker. Todd, you're on AM-750 WSB. Todd.
Yeah, Neal.
What's up?
The main reason I'm calling in is to tell you that MARTA does have undercover officers on the train.
Do they? Good. You're the first person. They have never verified that to me, and you're the first person ever said, why, are you one of them?
No, but I've seen them. And they have made an arrest while I was on the train.
Tell me about it. Tell me what happened.
Well, I ride MARTA quite a bit to some of the sporting events, mainly the hockey games.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to get to. You get off right there at the
Yeah. But
the only reason I'll tell you why I ride it is because I'm a dispatcher with a police department, and the people I go with are police officers.
Oh, there you go.
So they have their weapon with them.
Oh, that's good.
But we were coming back from a night game, and we were sitting on the train. There was a lot of people on it. So I think it was one of the sellout games. And there was a female on it that was just cussing up a storm. So...
Not a pearl of Southern womanhood.
No, not quite.
No.
So we're sitting there, and I see this female, and she's got on a bomber jacket and a pair of blue jeans, with the knee ripped and all this. And she walks down to one end of the train, and she walks back to the other end of the train, and she walks back to the other end of the train. And I look up, and she's got her badge out and a radio in her hand.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I'm around police officers all day long.
And this one fooled you?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Easy. And she was with another male who had a beard, didn't look anything like a police officer.
Well, that's good.
They took her off the train, told her she was under arrest, and why, and that was the end of it.
That's good. You're the first person that ever confirmed that for me, and that's good news.
Well, I wouldn't say anything other than there was other people on the train that could verify this, so I don't think I'm giving anything away.
Okay. Well, thanks.
But I think it's better to say it, to know that you don't know who they are.
I think we should make more use of undercover police officers. I think that there ought to be police cars out there that have no marking on them at all.
Well, there are that too.
Well, no, wait a minute. Except that they have a device in the roof that when a button is pushed in the car, this device flops up, and there's this whole set of lights and everything, so that when they're driving on the expressway, somebody looking in the rearview mirror can't tell it's got a bubblegum machine up there, but then they start tailgating and weaving back and forth. Then nail them. Nail them. I don't see a thing in the world with using unmarked police cars for traffic violations.
Well, a lot of departments have them that are just barely marked, where they've got enough on it that it's legal.
Yeah.
Which, some use different colored cars, brown or white or gray or...
Thank you for the call, Todd.
Okay.
AM-750 WSB. It's about 12 minutes now after 2 o'clock. We move on to Tommy, Decatur. Hi, Tommy.
Hi, how you doing?
Thanks for waiting, sir.
Well, Neal, why don't you get to the core of the problem with the MARTA? And that is, number one, police officers aren't paid enough. You going to step in line fire just because you're paid as a police officer?
Well, no, if I was a police officer, I wouldn't step in line of fire because I was paid. I would step in the line of fire because that's the line of work I've chosen for myself. You're right. You're right. If the job paid more, we could probably have a better quality of person out there doing it.
Because it'd start out on the streets before they went to the train.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know. What do you mean they started out in the streets before they went to the train?
You'd have better cops on the street.
Well, sure you would.
You'd stop a lot of that trash.
Sure you would. But the last caller was the first indication I've ever had that they actually had undercover, disguised, if you will, MARTA policemen on those trains. That's good news. Now, there needs to be at least one on every... If the word was out that every single train in the system has an undercover police officer on it, if that word was out, it would sure cut down on a lot of this nonsense on those trains.
True.
So
and then you have some callers call up and say, well, these guys were cussing and stuff. Well, hell, they listen to you, Neal. What's the difference?
Well, yeah, and you're one of the few people that recognizes that the Neal Boortz show gets piped in to all MARTA trains. And this is to keep people calm and relaxed. Hi, Joe.
Howdy.
What's up?
If they had undercover police cars, you'd sure increase the number of speeding tickets given out.
No, you know how I feel about speeding tickets.
Of course, I wouldn't have said it.
Yeah, that's all revenue enhancements, all that is.
Yeah. Just want to let you know, a professional colleague of mine was all excited last week because he's starting to work with a school system, a small system up in Oregon that is looking seriously at privatizing their wares.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just a little.
You mean a public?
There.
What is it, a county school system or something?
Well, I think they're by, I don't know if they're by county or if it's a small city. whatever.
And they're thinking of just privatizing the school system?
Right. They can't do any worse than what they have.
Hey, amen.
So there's a little ray of hope here.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of areas where efforts are being made to privatize government functions. The primary opponents of privatization, where do you think the primary opponents come from?
Politicians.
No.
No?
The American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees and what have you. The primary opponents of privatization in government are the people who work for the government, because they know that if the job gets privatized and if they manage to keep the job in the privatization process, they are going to have to work harder to earn their money. And that doesn't set well with these people.
Let me tell you a little. I'll try and keep it brief. Our postal carrier, we had two houses on the same piece of property.
Yeah.
There was one mailbox for years, and 2 years ago they put up a second mailbox for us. And I went to the mail gets a lot of our mail got delivered to the
wrong box.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I went out. I met her finally one day, and I said, "Well, she said, why is this happening? You know, you sort the mail, blah blah blah." And she said, "Well, for years I've been on this route for 18 years, and there was always only one house, and no one made any official notice, so I just assumed sort it into one box." So, in other words, to her, there wasn't two houses on the property.
Look,
and
you
two
know,
boxes.
you do something like that, you go out and put up an extra mailbox, that could trip a wire in one of these postal workers. They could go off and shoot all their damn friends and coworkers, man.
Well,
you have to be very careful about doing anything that can cause any sort of mental distress to a postal worker. Do you want to be responsible for the death of innocent people?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I dealt with it with a letter to the local postmaster, and it's handled, but anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Thanks a lot. Detroit, Michael Batchelor. Michael Batchelor is an attorney. He is defending a white police officer in Detroit who is charged, charged in the death of a black motorist. He was driving home from another day at the trial the other day, and a carload of black teenagers pulled up beside him. "Hey, that's the bastard representing the white cops. We ought to beat his ass to death." They started yelling at him out of the window. Isn't that a wonderful support for our system of laws that, no matter what sort of crime you're charged with, you don't even have the right to have a lawyer out there representing you?
The AM-750 WSB Atlanta Gaslight Shining Light Award is one of the most coveted awards in Atlanta. For the 26th year, we're asking for nominations for people you admire who've made a major contribution to our world. Past winners include Margaret Mitchell, William Hartsfield, and Dean Rusk. Send your nomination to Shining Light Award, 1601 West Peachtree, 30309. Deadline is August 6th. Be a part of one of Atlanta's most prestigious awards, the Shining Light Award, from Atlanta Gas Light and News Talk Radio.
Do you on the radio there, and all the good piped-in music?
Oh, yeah.
And their climate is controlled. Won't have to worry about the soup kitchens. Could just line up at the stations and feed them, and they can get back on.
You do bring up a point. Now, if MARTA was free, what's to keep the urban outdoorsman out of MARTA?
The urban outdoorsman.
Well, that's what we call them on the Neal Boortz show. We're trying.
Well,
we think
that's
that
what
the
I
term.
mean.
Yeah, we think the term homeless is. Yeah.
See, this takes care of that problem. We don't have the Olympics are coming. We won't have to worry about people being on the streets.
Yeah, man, I thought we had it knocked with that boxcar idea for the Olympics, but then that got shot.
We won't have to worry about that. Just give them a free ride on MARTA, and they'll take care of it.
Yeah, but you see, the problem with giving the urban outdoorsman a free ride on MARTA is it don't go anywhere.
Well, that's okay. They don't go anywhere anyway.
Well, I know, but we need to give them a free ride on something, get them the hell out of town.
Well, we'll have to think on that one. But in the meantime, see, this would take care of that.
Well,
and then we could fill up the freeways with our cars going to and from work.
leave it to the ladies in the audience to put a good silver lining around this cloud for us.
Yes.
Well, that's wonderful.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
While I was gone, the first ever Cobb County policeman shot and killed in the line of duty, Robert J. Ingrams. That's sad. It is even more sad because the man that shot and killed him, as I understand it, was serving a probated prison sentence for a criminal conviction that was, 1 day old? How old was it, Liz? How long had he been... you listening to me? The guy that killed this police officer, how many days previous to the murder had he been convicted of this crime?
I think he had just gotten out about 7 days before.
Yeah, within a week. Probated sentence. Liz and I are continuing with our research into the Board of Pardons and Paroles, violent criminals being turned loose on the streets of Georgia, and we'll be having a lot more to say about that coming up. You know, I was going to call Louie, doggone it, and I never got around to it today. Maybe tomorrow. Because Louie called me and said, Neal, you got to get over to the Lindbergh Plaza Benny's location because we've done a lot of remodeling here, and it looks great. Well, I told him I'd stop by tomorrow. I got a breakfast I have to go to early in the morning, so I can stop by after that breakfast. But he does have a great sale at all 3 Benny's locations going on of Rockport shoes. Now, look, you can do what you want with a shoe store. You can change the name if you want to. But changing the names doesn't make it a great buy in shoes. Men in Atlanta have learned many, many years ago that when it comes to buying first quality men's shoes, all of the great names, the only place to go is to one of the Benny's locations. You certainly don't go to a shopping mall and pay those prices. So this lesson is out there. Now this week, it's Rockport. The Dressport, the Rockport Casual Dress, the Rockport Pro Walker 7100, and the Rockport Pro Walker 9000. All of these shoes are, well, they have additional discounts on them this week at Benny's. Usually, of course, are discounted over the regular retail price, but it's an extra 20% off on those shoes this week at Benny's. Cumberland Square North, half-mile north of Cumberland Mall on the 4-lane. They've got the Benny's at Indian Trail Parkway in 85, right down from the Grand Prix, that little race car place. Lindbergh Plaza, the Sidney Marcus side of Lindbergh. Piedmont at Sidney Marcus. Stop by Benny's Shoes.
I asked the Atlanta jazz band Soft Touch if they knew where I could find a good doctor.
Find a doctor who'll treat you well. Call M-E-D-C-A-L-L.
Interesting. So I asked opera singer Roberta Elg if she knew where I could find a good ear, nose, and throat specialist. I see. But I said to the Northside High School Marching Band, I want hospital-sponsored doctors, you know, good, experienced doctors.
Call M-E-D-C-A-L-L.
You know, I even tried Bobby Crew and the Whiners, and I said, Bobby, I want an experienced doctor that I can see today.
Call M-E-D-C-A-L-L.
But then I thought, if you really want to get the smartest answer, you ask a kid. So I asked the Suzuki Learning Center's Children's Choir.
Find a doctor who treats you well. Call M-E-D-C-A-L-L.
Is there anyone else to turn to?
Information you need. Get it now. Weather from Atlanta's only full-time radio meteorologist. From Atlanta's news, weather, and traffic station. AM-750 WSB. Depend on it.
It's 2:31. Good afternoon. I'm Bob Glasgow from the WSB News Center. The White House calls it a step forward. President Clinton outlines his policy for homosexuals in the military to the National Defense University in Washington. We're still waiting for the speech, but we're pretty sure what it's going to say. Under the policy, the military will not ask recruits about their sexual status, and they'll be expected not to talk about it. During the campaign, candidate Clinton promised to open the military to gays. Now, an Associated Press poll indicates most Americans think President Clinton has broken his promises too often. Figure 58%, up from 48%, who felt that way just 3 months ago. And just 2 out of 5 in the poll give Mr. Clinton a high trust rating. The White House says President Clinton will meet with Attorney General Janet Reno this afternoon, then make an announcement presumably about FBI Director William Sessions. Administration officials say the president's decided to fire Sessions over alleged ethical violations. As one weather forecaster puts it, things definitely are looking brighter for the soggy Midwest. Not only is relatively dry weather in the forecast, water may begin flowing in Des Moines, Iowa tomorrow in some areas for the first time in more than a week. No relief in sight for us, though, from the heat, as temperatures remain near and above record high levels. The man selected as Atlanta's next archbishop says he may investigate claims of a local woman who says she sees visions of the Virgin Mary. The Reverend John Donahue is quoted as saying, people have a right to be skeptical of the claims of Conyers resident Nancy Fowler. News Talk Radio, AM-750, WSB, just ahead, weather and traffic.
Have you ever dreamed of owning your own business? Many people have, but they can't seem to find the right opportunity, or they don't think they have the skills or the money to get started. Well, here's a new opportunity to really start your own business with a low investment and the potential to reap high rewards. Now, remember this name, CERTA Pro Painters, because you may want to call them when I'm through. CERTA Pro Painters is an outstanding franchise opportunity that's expanding in the Atlanta area. They're interviewing potential owners to join the successful franchises already operating here. CERTA Pro Painters provides property owners with top-quality painting services at affordable prices. No, you don't do the painting. You actually run the business. The startup costs are low, and new franchisees are given complete training and ongoing field support. Now, if you're interested, here's an 800 number to call. CERTA Pro Painters will send you the details. Call 1-800-462-3782. That's 1-800-462-3782. Stop dreaming about your own business. Look into CERTA Pro Painters today.
Here's a tip on how to save money in today's economy. You can eat better and spend less. By eating smaller portions of red meat and cheese, it's possible to save money and avoid a major source of dietary fat, which often leads to future medical problems. Stay away from highly processed and instant foods. It's more economical to make your own frozen dinners. Simply double your normal recipe and freeze the rest for another meal. This tip was brought to you by Eckerdnomics. The economy is looking pretty good.
Kroger would like to remind all seniors 60 years young and up that every Wednesday you can save 5% on all purchases. Of course, seniors are special every day at Kroger, and offering an extra 5% discount all day every Wednesday is their way of showing it. So for goodness sake, go Krogering on Wednesdays and save an extra 5%.
News Talk Radio, AM-750 WSB. It is 2:35. Now sponsored by your local Atlanta Kroger store. A live update from the WSB Skycopter and Skyplane Traffic Center.
Now, Bob, DeKalb County and the Department of Transportation did a wonderful job getting this jackknife tractor trailer off to the side. 85 southbound below Shallowford Road. All lanes are reopened. Traffic is recovering for you as you come down from Spaghetti Junction. So no longer you need to scramble for alternates. Just sit with it. It will improve very rapidly. Over in East Atlanta, still trying to get that tractor trailer out of the way. It's been stalled for about 2 hours now on Boulevard at Confederate. Still rerouting traffic via Ormwood Road there. It's causing some delays for you. Out in Douglas County, authorities have been dealing with a medical emergency on I-20 westbound around Lee Road. I'm Chris Monroe with the WSB Skycopter and Skyplane Traffic Center.
Hottest temperature ever in July, 105 in 1980. Some spots could be 103 today. Forecast, hazy sunshine, dangerous heat and humidity. Tonight's low around 76. Tomorrow, partly sunny, hazy, very hot and steamy. High 97, low 76. Extended outlook Wednesday through Friday, a little less hot, but still only a 30% chance for a late day or early night thunderstorm. Highs 92 to 96, low 73. Recapping the forecast this afternoon, hazy sunshine, dangerous heat and humidity. High around 100. I'm WSB meteorologist Kirk Mellish.
And a bit of rain on radar now, stirring up around LaGrange, Macon, and one storm indicated right near Hartsfield Airport. At 2:36, the temperature on Peachtree Street, 91 degrees. The heat index makes it feel like 100 plus. I'm Bob Glaskoff. If news breaks out, we'll break in. News Talk Radio, AM 750, WSB. Depend on it.
It's the last half hour Neal Boortz Show, AM 750 WSB. Man, I came back, I found out that WSB Radio, us right here, won the bid for broadcasting the lottery results every night and Saturday night, right? Isn't that great? Yeah, and then I understand the ex-wife went into a real snit when that happened. Oh, and actually we're going to sue. We're going to file a lawsuit. Isn't that something? I mean, I still, like I say, I got a lot of fondness for the ex-wife. I'm sorry that she just can't get laid, no matter how hard she tries. Just nobody wants to go to bed with that gal anymore. Nobody. Maybe the reason is because who wants to shack up with the girl that after you give her all the loving attention you can for many years, that as soon, as soon as it's over, all she wants to do is file lawsuits. That's all. Well, we'll sue. That's the answer to everything. Maybe if the ex wasn't so litigious, it could get a little every now and then. 22 minutes until 3. I don't know why I go off on those. 22 minutes until 3 o'clock. News Talk Radio, AM-750 WSB. Royal, does that mean, and now that we have the contract for broadcasting those numbers, does that mean that we can't buy lottery tickets? I've been trying.
That question was raised, and I think that we are still eligible because we're really not picking the numbers. We're just broadcasting. We have exclusive rights to...
What do you think? Can we buy lottery tickets still, Liz?
I'm not sure. I think we can.
Unless we work on the McKee show, because he has a bid to be the lottery man. Did you know that?
Oh, McKee?
Yeah, he does.
Magoo is going to be the lottery guy?
Well, he could be. His hat is in the ring, I think.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why wasn't I told of this process? I mean...
You were on vacation.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh. Well, it's going to be somebody from SB.
Probably.
Is it going to be Chuck Dowdle? Now, let's know who from here should draw the lottery numbers. How about Barney the dinosaur?
Glenn Burns?
Glenn Burns? Well, that's TV. Well... Yeah. Well, I just want to know, can I still buy lottery tickets? This is of course important. This is Tonya in Tucker. Oh yeah, sure.
Just chumming the waters.
Yeah, Tonya Tucker. It says. All right, okay, Tonya. That was.
Hey.
Yeah.
I've got an imagination.
You do well. Good. I'm glad.
I have to laugh because there's some listeners who were asking me about this ex-wife business, and they thought you were literally talking about your ex-wife.
Oh, Donna has received sympathy. No, she's had phone calls from people saying, Donna, we're sorry about you and Neal. Isn't that just like the bastards as soon as they start making good money?
So funny.
I know it. But I think it's the perfect frame of reference, Tonya, in so many ways. I mean, including the analogy that she just can't get any anymore. Nobody wants any of that. Yeah. So what's going on, Tonya?
Okay, I turned on a little late to the MARTA discussion, but I started thinking about the movie Pale Rider. You know that movie?
I know of it.
Where a town is starting to cave in because the bullies are just running the show, and everybody's turned into a wimp.
Yeah.
And everybody's
this is an Eastwood bit, isn't it?
What?
An Eastwood bit, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he comes in,
and
he gives everybody the power they actually had all along, but just didn't want to use to get rid of the guys. So my analogy is that I can't believe everybody's running away. The majority of people are running away with their tail between their legs just because there happen to be some bullies on the block. What does that say for the most of people in Atlanta?
But the bullies are so well armed.
So are we.
Oh.
So are we. I don't care. That's that perception again. That's that perception.
Tonya, who was Clint Eastwood's character? Who was he playing in Pale Rider?
He was a priest.
You think he was a priest?
No, she's thinking of High Plains Drifter.
No, in Pale Rider, he comes in and he's wearing a collar.
No. That's
because I just saw it last week.
I think
and taped it. He's wearing a collar, and they think he's a preacher.
No.
They think he's a preacher. It's better than Unforgiven.
Tonya Tucker.
Sir.
I think you're wrong. No.
I've got it on tape. I'll prove it to you.
I think that Liz is right. That's hot.
It's Pale Rider.
Well, then...
They think he's a preacher.
Which is the movie where they paint the...
bullet holes in his back. And it turns out the bad guy remembers, oh, yeah, I thought he was dead. And
which is the movie where they paint the town red?
That's not this one. That was before Pale Rider.
That's High Plains Drifter.
Yeah.
In that movie, Clint Eastwood played Satan.
Yeah. He's a preacher that comes through.
Yeah, okay.
And works miracles. You get my drift?
Yeah, I do. I like Clint Eastwood movies. My wife hates them, so I always have to go to another room to watch them.
Yeah, but I'm saying something more important about Atlanta, though.
Well, you're right, but I just don't see. I don't see that we're being. I don't see that we're. What am I going to do? Am I going to jump up on a MARTA train and say, "Oh yeah"? Oh, sure. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, well, look, why can't
So's your old man.
Oh, by the way, I'm supposed to remind you to say something about Colorado. But you're not supposed to wimp out and let the few take over the many.
Well, that's true.
All right.
Arm yourself.
Enough said.
Yeah, thanks, Ten. Okay, there was the Supreme Court in Colorado. You remember they passed this anti-gay rights thing in Colorado, which negated gay rights laws. Where gay Coloradans were given special civil rights protection based upon sexual orientation. Well, let's just completely set aside the gay issue in this, but the Supreme Court today, a judge granted an injunction to keep that law from being enforced in California. And the Colorado Supreme Court today refused to lift that injunction against the state's anti-gay rights amendment, saying, now this is what I like about the Colorado Supreme Court, and I wish our U.S. Supreme Court would come through with a gem of wisdom like this every once in a while, saying that a citizen's fundamental right may not be submitted to a vote. That's a good lesson. A citizen's fundamental right in this country cannot be submitted to a vote. The court went on and said that one's right to life, liberty, and property, and other fundamental rights may not be submitted to vote. They do not depend on they depend on the outcome of no elections. Let me read that to you again. This is great wisdom. One's right to life, liberty, and property, and other fundamental rights may not be submitted to vote. They depend on the outcome of no election. In other words, here is the Colorado Supreme Court saying, this is not a democracy. Stupid. The majority does not rule in this country when it comes to questions about the fundamental rights of American citizens. So, just, it's nice to see some court somewhere with a basic appreciation of that. AM-750 WSB, Greg, John, Matthew, and anybody else that cares to call. Hi, Greg. What's going on, sir?
Not much. Half a blah for you.
Half a ditto?
Half a ditto.
Half a ditto, Greg?
Hey, I hate Rush.
You know,
I absolutely hate Rush.
The only people that ever say that, Greg, are gay.
Oh, my God, no. Ours.
Half a ditto. Why do you hate him?
Why do I hate him?
That's my brother-in-law, man. What do you hate my brother-in-law
for? I listen to him all the time just to hear what the dumb people are thinking, but,
Oh, come on, Greg. Well, what's your beef, Greg?
Well, I just got back from an internship in Washington. And
internship doing what, Greg?
I was working at the White House Office of Scheduling in Advance.
Oh, God.
Hey.
A Clintonista.
I didn't want to talk about that right now. I'll just leave that aside.
Okay, Greg.
Okay, don't have to argue about that right now. I'm watching him doing his speech at the National Defense University right now, in fact. Doesn't look like a very happy man. But anyway, I just got back from an internship in Washington, and because I was living out in Alexandria.
Cut Hilly with some dyke or something. But go ahead. I'm sorry, Greg. Go ahead.
Well, because I was living out in Alexandria in Northern Virginia, I had to ride the metro to work every day.
Yeah.
And it was kind of an enlightening experience because just getting back down here this week, I realized how pathetic the system down here is, the MARTA system. The aspect of their system in Washington I wanted to talk about was the fare card system. There you have to get a card and charge it up with a $10 bill or whatever every time you want to enter the system. And the fare that you are charged depends on how far you travel.
How far you go, yeah.
Yeah. And my fare was $2.40 every day, so my coworkers who lived inside the city only paid $1.
That's one way?
Yep, one way.
Yeah, okay.
And it changes with rush hour, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But my point is that charging people